Hey everyone. So fun. Must be my repressed actor or something, years of holding it back. As soon as I press the thing, it's like, action. It's like my inner child just lights up. Maybe the idea of getting some attention or. I actually have no idea, but I've been really enjoying um, just rolling out the vids, and for some reason people are watching them, so I'm just going to keep doing them and see what happens. And I love the oh yeah, I don't often wear collared shirts, but I had this one. It used to be a nice collared shirt, but I ended up, it's like a work shirt now, but I thought, got me collared shirt on the Savo for Friday the 10th of April, and it's about 5:30 in the Arvo. Thought it's quite official to give the time and that, these days. Getting really professional with my videos. Okay, so clickbait title, Getting Naked and a Lady in My Pants. And they're two totally separate stories. I guess in the title you think probably one story is going to lead into the next, but unfortunately it's not the case. And I'll start with the getting naked story. And it's not the kind of getting naked that you probably think. Um, how's this? The West Aussie backlit Arvos. There's something about the light in Western Australia. It's really getting funky, isn't it? The evening light in Western Australia is really, really beautiful. Um, and the first story, getting naked. So I was at the soup kitchen, the local soupy, which is such a great place to it's such a great place to share a meal and meet friends or meet new friends and people from all over the world. Um, Monday and Wednesday night in Margaret River, um, 5 o'clock, and it's been going, I think, for around 30 years or something. And it's such a, what do you call it? Not a hub. It's like a, when things go for ages, like a, I'm sure you know the word. My brain's not as sharp with the Arvo videos. But yeah, it's a real historical kind of thing that keeps on rolling in Margs. And so I met a couple of friends there, and got the soup, got me a bowl of rice and dal and a little bit of curry or something, and I headed out the back of the soup kitchen down around the corner, and there's this beautiful rosemary bush, and um, and I snapped a few little bits off. I just love the smell of rosemary. I wasn't planning to put it on my meal, and just as I was doing that, this guy walked past, and we ended up chatting about rosemary, and we walked for a few meters, and then we stopped, and I just really caught his presence. There was this moment where I caught his eyes, or there was just a real shift, and I was like, wow, this human, this beautiful man that I'm chatting with here, is completely present and naked. Not that he didn't have any clothes on, but the nakedness I'm referring to is this vulnerability and this openness and this, it's almost like trust in the moment, or trusting in this terrifying unknown of here I am, open, naked, vulnerable, meeting a human that I've never met before, and from that moment I looked at him and I said, wow, I really appreciate your presence and how present you are, and it was really refreshing for him, because he was what's the word, he was having a lot of interactions, but struggling to be sort of to get people to be present with him, and people were thinking he's weird and different things, and all of a sudden I'm there like affirming his presence and saying, wow, this is actually a real gift, and I'm so grateful that I'm standing here with you now, and this doesn't happen very often, and we just had these moments of sharing about these things and sharing the courage that it takes just to stand there. And for a few moments we weren't even saying anything, we were just there, completely naked with each other, just looking into each other's eyes, and it was the most beautiful, healing, kind of timeless moment in a way. And there's just it's even hard to put words to what happens in those moments. For me, it felt like there was so much healing and so much depth and like rejuvenation and sharing, and there's just so much sort of unspoken exchange in this meeting, and I was really, really blown away, and it naturally sort of came to a close. But there were these moments where we just were just there in each other's presence, and occasionally some laughter came, and it was a complete gift. And I was just reminded how it's like how precious, if I had been completely off thinking about other stuff, or not quite open to be in that moment, to actually see this guy's presence and feel his openness, and I would have missed that opportunity. So in sharing this story, I guess the invitation is to possibly lean into getting naked a little more. Just, then I guess there needs to be the safety and the trust in these moments, which you'll just naturally feel. But just, if your go-to is more sort of guarded and the walls are up a lot of the time, maybe just exploring a little bit when you meet someone new, or just being a little more courageous to see, to peer into the unknown, and just as an exploration. So yeah, highly recommend getting naked when the moment's right. It was such a gift. So simple. A lot of these things, I think a lot of the biggest gifts in this human experience are so simple, And it comes back to that slowing down and doing our best to be in our bodies. And here we are in the eternal now. Wow, I've met someone. That was profound. And then life moves on. So that was my getting naked story. And then that was like the deep spiritual one. And the next part, a lady in my pants. This is the most bizarre story. And again, it's not what it sounds like. And I did write a few things. Yeah, in regards, just getting back to that first story, I've written, when we meet in love, everything that is not love comes to the surface, and it's fucking challenging. Love illuminates. There is a depth of silence and deep healing remembering that arrives when two humans meet naked. So yeah, standing naked in love, and it can be terrifying, to stand in that fire of love. Like we were both in that meeting at the Soupy. We were there standing in the fire of love, and just being available to what life brought. Mm. And of course, it got a little bit uncomfortable and weird when we were just standing there, like looking into each other's eyes. After a while, you know, like different things moving through, and then um, I was just able to watch and share as these things were coming up or whatever. So the power of love. Take us to the heights of height and bring us to our knees. Okay. What did I call it again? A lady in my pants. So this was down at the Qigong, the 5-day retreat in Denmark. Adjust my seat a little bit to get ready for this story. And I was camping out with a few friends, and one of the particular sessions that I think it was after lunch one day, or maybe it was the mid-morning session. But either way, I got a lift with a friend, a lady friend, to the Qigong session, and it was about, I don't know, 5 minutes drive from where we were camping. And as we get to the Scout Hall car park where we were going to be practicing, we're chatting. I think we were chatting about relationships or just different experiences. Seems to be my topic that comes up a lot, because I feel like I've done my university's life has been relationships. And we're sitting there, I'm in the passenger seat, she's in the driver's seat, and we're sitting there chatting, and all of a sudden I could feel this like a prickly sort of biting feeling in my pants. Right, basically right on my penis. And I was just like observing, you know, bringing in the witness, and I at first I was thought, oh wow, there's some energy releasing, must be from this story or something, and I just sat with it a bit, and it's like, maybe after 10, 15 seconds, I'm like, wow, this is actually really uncomfortable. Something is biting me on the dick, and and I remained pretty calm, and I said to my friend, I said, oh look, something's biting me where it's not meant to be biting me. I think I'm going to have to go over to the toilet and just sort of check in. And she got the picture straight away, and she's like, no, like just I'll get out of the car and you can do what you need to do to check in. Yeah, it was a pretty funny moment actually. And so she gets out and gives me a bit of space, and I check downstairs. And I look, and there's a lady beetle, basically like on my penis, and it's kind of like trying to burrow in, and that was the feeling. Like I thought, shit, is this a spider, or you know, is this like one of those bigger ants or something's there? It's biting me, and it was this little black lady beetle with the orange spots on it, and I'm just like, you know, how how's the shit that life brings? I've never had that happen before ever. And so yeah, so I take it off, and I go over to my friend and say, oh, this is the culprit. A lady beetle in my pants. And then I shared with a few friends, and it was just a real classic story. And I ended up taking the lady beetle over to this, I don't know, like a log or something, and just put her down on the log and said thank you so much for the interaction. And yeah, it was pretty classy. I was like, yeah, this has got to be a sign, you know. A good sign. So there you go. So it wasn't a lady in my pants, it was a lady beetle in my pants. And I think after I made that last bit about the I could have busted this one out about this exercise, I'm just like, you know, I'm sure some people watch this stuff and they're just like, what the hell is this guy on, you know? And you know, the best tool to deal with this intensity is and don't forget the double. and and I need to be a little kick ass with this because, man, life is short, and I know in my history, whenever life gets too serious, I'm just way off track, and I think bringing in that bigger picture and the lightness and the laughter and the joy and the celebration, this this is the key, you know. It's like these fucking gangsters or the powers that be that are running the planet in the background, and they're just wanting us sick, broken, fearful, poor, exhausted, fighting with each other. You know, they to actually focus on joy and laughter. It's just like this. I'm so passionate about this because it just smashes all that shit just out of the way. It's like, you know, standing in the face of death or in the face of the wildest storm or all this stuff, and they're just like it just cuts through all the bullshit, and even in our own day-to-day lives, even when I'm by myself, just recently, when I'm getting in my head and just trying to sort shit out, I've actually been just with myself, even throwing in the mirror. and and I reckon it's don't underestimate the power of silliness. It's my quote for the day with my collared shirt on. Never underestimate the power of silliness. All right. Thanks for listening. Have a beautiful weekend, day, evening, life. And yeah, lots of love. See, see ya.